In this slide, we will try to understand what sexual reproduction is and how does it take place. It begins with pollination, that is transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. So with the help of various agents like wind, water, which are also called as abiotic agents, or we have agents like birds and insects, which are called as biotic agents. The pollen grains get transmitted to the stigma and they get deposited on the sticky stigma. The stickiness of the stigma prevents the pollen grains from flying away. After getting deposited over the stigma, the pollen grains germinate and give rise to a pollen tube. Now here you can see the pollen tube has been formed, and it also gives rise to two sperm cells. So on germination, pollen tube is formed and two male gametes or sperm cells start moving through the pollen tube. Now this pollen tube passes through the hollow style. This is the style which is hollow, and so the pollen tube containing the sperm cells or male gametes can easily pass through the style. After reaching the ovary, they break the wall of the ovary and finally they enter the embryo sac. Now here we had studied this diagram in the last slide. Now this is the embryo sac, and this opening which you are seeing here where the pollen tube will now be entering is called as a micropylar end. So through the micropylar end, the pollen tube enters the embryo sac. So here you can see that the two male gametes or the sperm cells have reached the embryo sac, and they will open the wall of the ovule, and through the micropylar end they will enter the embryo sac. Now here this diagram is of an embryo sac. Here you can clearly see the micropyle end, and the cells, male gametes, have been released into the embryo sac. Now where are these male gametes? One male gamete you can see here, sperm nuclei labeling has been given, one is here and the other cell is here. Now one of the sperm nuclei or the male gamete fuses with the egg cell. This is first fertilization, that is fusion of male and female gamete is called as fertilization. The second fertilization occurs here. Here you can see one male gamete and two polar nuclei. Now these two polar nuclei fuse with the sperm nuclei and they give rise to endosperm. Since there are three cells in here, you can see it is called as a triploid. Triploid, or it is called as endosperm. This is second fertilization. First was here fusion of male and female gamete, sperm nuclei and the egg, and it is called as fertilization. The second fertilization takes place here where the two polar nuclei fuse with the sperm nuclei. Since fertilization takes place two times, once here and second time here, it is called as double fertilization. Now, as I had told you that these three are antipodals which are going to degenerate, and but they will be very useful and they will provide nutrition to the growing zygote. Now what is a zygote? The first fertilization, that is between male and female gamete, results in the formation of a diploid zygote. We had said that the egg cell is haploid whereas sperm nuclei are also haploid, but when two haploid nuclei are going to meet, it is going to result in the formation of a diploid zygote. Now this zygote is going to grow, and for that it is going to require nutrition. This nutrition is going to be provided by the antipodals as well as the endosperm. So this endosperm is going to provide the nutrition to the growing zygote. So this is how the process of fertilization takes place. I hope you have understood what is double fertilization and why it is called as double fertilization, because fertilization takes place two times. Hence it is called as double fertilization. Now eventually the flower wilts off, the petals and all, they fall down. That is, the wilting of the flower takes place. And what remains are the ovules, or the ovules develop into seed. Finally, the ovule is going to develop into a seed, whereas the ovary will get converted into fruit. So ovule develop into seed and the ovary develops into fruit after the process of fertilization is over. The seeds will fall down on the ground when the fruit breaks up, and later on, whenever the conditions are favorable, the seed will germinate and it will give rise to a new plant. Now the zygote is going to develop at the cost of the food that is stored in the endosperm of the seed. We have already said that this endosperm is going to provide food to the growing zygote. And how good a seed is depends upon the nutrition that it is going to get from the endosperm. So the zygote is going to develop at the cost of the food that is stored inside the endosperm of the seed, and a new plant is going to be formed. So this process of germination of the seed is going to take place and a new plant is going to be obtained. So this is what is sexual reproduction in plants, and let us go to the next slide for further details. In this slide, we can see the various stages of seed germination. When the fruit breaks open, the seeds are released, and this seed, when it is sown in the soil and it gets all necessary things that are required for it to germinate, like temperature, pH, water, moisture, light, etc., then it germinates and a new plant is going to be formed. So here you can see that the seed has got a radicle and a hypocotyl. The radicle develops into root and it starts moving downwards because it responds to gravitropism, that is gravity, and hydrotropism, that is water. Whereas hypocotyl, that is the stem of the germinating seedling. Then you can see cotyledons, and you can see that the plant has responded to sunlight and it has started coming out of the ground. Then you can even see a epicotyl, that is the plumule is the tip of the epicotyl, and it is going to give rise to a new shoot, and that is how the process of germination occurs and a new plant is formed. Let's go on to the next slide. Now this slide is just to show you that how the ovary develops into fruit. That is what we actually eat. So this is a few examples where we find that the ovary has converted into the fruit that we eat, and the ovules have been converted into seeds after fertilization. So these seeds are present inside the fruit, and when these seeds get appropriate things for germination, they give rise to a new plant. So thus these are some examples. Now with this we come to the end of the sexual reproduction in plants, and the next topic that we are going to study is sexual reproduction in human beings.